Well, even if you're not. Okay, so we had the 1940s were due yesterday, and you guys had, what, 6 topics on it? Is that about right? Okay. So, tell me topic number 1. Let's go through these. Hattie Caraway. Okay, let's do Hattie Caraway. All right, Hattie Caraway. Who is she? Who is she? Just tell me.
First she served on the U.S. Senate.
Okay, she's the first woman to serve in the U.S. Senate. Okay, what else about her? Where's she from?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay. What else? What else do we know about her? What else do we know?
First woman elected to a U.S. Senate.
Yeah, she was first woman elected to U.S. Senate. Okay, so does she look like a rebel rouser? She look like somebody that's going to be fighting, you know, against everything. She look like that kind of person. She looks grandma-ish, right? She looks sweet and grandma-ish. Yeah, the poster back here has her, you know, grandma-y looking thing. Okay, she's going to die when? Does anybody know when she passes away?
December 21st.
Yeah, she dies in 1950. When's she born?
1878.
Okay, 1878. So if we're looking at this lady, when we're talking about her in the 40s, there must be a reason that we put her off. We talked about her early on, right? Hey, listening? Did we talk about her early on? Did we talk about her before? Yes? No? Has Mr. Smithy or I ever talked about Hattie Caraway before?
I don't think so.
Mentioned.
Don't remember.
Yes.
Yes, we did. We talked about her in the 1920s. Some of us are going light bulb. So we talked about her in the 1920s. Well, why would we talk about Hattie Caraway with the 1920s? Why would we talk about her in the 1920s? Why would we do that? When did women get the right to vote? When are women making a claim to the world that we should be able to do things?
1920s.
It's amazing how this works. Hattie Caraway, here's what happened. So Nicole is going to be my poor example. So Nicole is married. I don't know who you're married to, but they're a senator. All right, so Nicole's married to a senator.
Go Nicole.
All right, she's married to a senator. Her husband dies. Instead of us having midterm elections, what we're going to do is we're going to put Nicole, we're going to send her to the U.S. Senate, and we're going to say, okay, you're going to take your husband's spot. Well, it's just what happens. It's just what happened. So Nicole's going to go in. Now, here's the bad thing, Nicole. You're going to be expected to vote as the other Arkansas senator tells you to vote. Are you likely to do that? No. Well, not from her. She's a bit of a rebel rouser.
Look at the face she's making.
Nicole, do you have your own opinions?
Yeah,
Do you state your own opinions?
sometimes. Yes.
Nicole, I've known you. This is my 3rd year with you. Nicole, I picked you on purpose. I know better than this. You
Yes,
state
I
your own
do.
opinions.
Yes, I do.
All right, so that's exactly what Hattie Caraway got in trouble for. Hattie Caraway had opinions in a time when women were not supposed to have opinions, especially about politics. Women don't have opinions about politics. Do you know why? That's men's work.
Yeah, it is.
Aww, it's really, no. I'm pretty sure that during the Middle Ages I would have been burned as a witch, so, you know, I'm pretty sure that would happen. Women were not supposed to have opinions on politics because that was men's jobs. And so the women, when they were, you know, finishing out their husband's role, they were to do as the other man in the group told them to do. Hattie Caraway did not do that. In fact, she told the other guy, no. And she went on to do what she thought was best for the state of Arkansas. Because that sweet little lady had an opinion. And she thought that her opinion was just as good as some man's. Y'all, this is crazy talk for this time period. Crazy talk. So here's what she's going to do. She's going to vote the way she thinks she should. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people in the Senate that respect her for that. She took a stand. She did what she believed was right. And she didn't care if people didn't like it. The little grandma lady was like a, you know, Rosa Parks of the Senate. I don't know. She was standing up for what she thought. So what happens is a couple of the male senators actually help her run and get reelected. They actually support her and help her get reelected. So then she becomes the first woman to step onto the Senate floor that has been elected on her own. Y'all, this is the first time ever. Women couldn't even vote yet when she's elected. So men elected her in. Women couldn't vote in Arkansas. That's pretty impressive, really. And she's going to hold term all the way up. She's going to run and win several terms. She's going to be on the Education Committee. She's going to head the Education Committee for the Senate. Y'all, that's big. Like, it's hard to get on these committees. Bless you. She's also going to be on a bunch of the plans that are taking care of, especially agriculture. So the alphabet soup, remember we talked about that with the new deal? She's going to do like the AAA. She's going to approve some of these programs that are going to impact Arkansas. She's going to be a really good proponent for Arkansas. Really, really good at it. She's going to do a lot that actually helps us. She's, I don't know, she's kind of interesting to listen to and talk to because she does not look like the rebel rouser. She does not look like the person that would be causing problems. She looks grandma-y, nice, sweet little lady, soft-spoken. My grandmother met her. My grandmother said that she was like the most soft-spoken person until you made her angry. And then she had that really stern mom look. You know what I'm talking about? You know that look that your mom gives you? You're like, oh crap.
So she turns
You know that look.
Yeah,
You all know this
She
look.
sounds like Banana.
No, it's
She's
the
so
look that
sweet, and
you
then
just
when you
missed
get her
out.
mad, she looks like the demon.
Yeah, they're cross, yeah. So that's what Hattie Caraway evidently had that nice mom look, or maybe, I don't know, there are some of the teachers that I've seen do that, and I'm like, ooh, Miss K does it. Miss K, you see Miss K get mad, and she has that look, and you're like, oh, she's gonna shoot lasers out of her eyes and get me. That's that look that Hattie Caraway evidently portrayed. I don't know. Don't tell Miss K I said that. No, I like Miss K, she's okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Miss K likes it, she'd probably think, yes, I did. Alright, so what else? Hattie Caraway's one, what else do I have? Tell me another.
USO.
Huey Long, okay, he says Huey Long. Let's talk about the Kingfisher. Alright, so who is Huey Long? Who is he?
American politician.
He's an American politician, I agree. What state's he from?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Alright, what else do we know about him? He's a governor of Louisiana for a very long time, you're right. He was assassinated. Oh, who assassinated him? Oh, do you not remember this? Mr. Smith, he told you. Oh, do you not? The deranged dentist. The guy was like a crazy dentist. I just find that truly interesting. A crazy dentist killed him. You know, tell him that you know, no, he actually shot him. But the whole deranged dentist thing is just
He pulled his teeth out too hard.
okay. So he's also called the Kingfisher. If you don't have that, a kingfish. I want you to go to Google right now, and I want you to look up Kingfisher. All one word. Kingfisher. With ER on the end. Go look it up. I want you to see an image of it.
That's a bird.
It's a bird!
Birds kill birds.
Birds are pretty.
Kill it with fire.
A deranged dentist. Okay, it's a bird. What does the bird look like?
Very small.
It's small. What else?
So cute.
Blue.
It's colorful, isn't it? It's got bright colors on it, yeah?
Makes me want to kill it with
Big
fire.
long beak.
Stab people.
It's got a big long beak.
It
It
eats him.
want to
eats
kill it with
tiny
fire.
fish.
I like to.
Huh?
I
What's
said
it?
I want to kill it with fire.
I want to kill you with fire.
Alright, so it's also a very loud talker. Okay, if you look at this bird and then you think about a politician. Look at this bird and think about a politician. Bright colors? Bright colors, right? Bright colors. Really loud voice. Big long beak. Stabby things. Oh my gosh. Kind of like the horse of a different color there. Kind of loud and bright and everybody look at me. It's everybody look
I
at
don't
me.
think that's the.
Politicians, everybody look at me. I'm loud, I'm important. Look at me, look at me, look at me. That's a politician, so a politician. Kingfisher, that's why he's called that. That's why he was called Kingfish. Because he was that politician that was loud and bright. And I'll tell you what, Huey Long was either really corrupt or really efficient. I'm not really sure which one you want to take. Louisiana did really well under his control. Really, really, really well. But I will say this. If you crossed Huey Long, you are going to end up floating out to sea or with concrete shoes. So you don't cross it. So if you're just the general public in Louisiana, you're fine. But if you cross this man, it is bad for you. So you don't cross him. Does that make sense? So it's either really good or really, really bad. It's one of the two. You end up dead. Is this yours? All right. So what's after Huey Long?
USO.
Big USO. Okay. Really, this was fun. How many of you have seen Captain America? Raise hands. We've seen Captain America. Yay! This helps me a lot. Captain America, when he's doing the sock out Hitler. Know that part?
Yeah.
That's part of the USO show.
Why?
That's what a USO show was. If the dancing girls came out, you know, the guys played music, he did the little play acting thing, it was propaganda. That's what a USO show is.
Like the girls individuals.
Yes. The USO, what is it? What does that mean, USO?
United Service Organization.
Okay, United Service Organization. It's a group that goes out to help the troops. If you don't have the sound support, you need it. It's a group that, United Service Organization, is a group that helps the troops. It's going to help them forget the battle, forget the bad stuff, have a timeout, fun place. It's going to be,
Like right after he became big and buff, and then he also went to the war, and it was like a show for him.
there's gonna, today, there's still groups that go and do USO shows today. We still have those. Taylor Swift did one not too long ago. Let's see, who else did one?
Swift.
I know that 9 Inch Nails did one. I know that Nickelback did one. A long time ago. I'm just telling you the bands that I remember. I know that Green Day has done it before. They're no longer
I
together.
like Green Bay.
They're no longer together, though, are they?
Hackers.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought they did theirs right before they broke up. I know Willie Nelson has done a bunch of them. Willie Nelson has done tons of them. But it's, I mean, just, you pick a band, they've all done it. Kiss has done a bunch of them too. Full makeup and everything, you know, craziness. All right, so the USO shows, they're a place for the soldiers to go and not have to think about the war. They're a place for them to go and not have to think about the war. All right, so what's after USO? What else do I have? WASP. Okay, what is WASP for?
Women Air Force Service pilots.
Okay, these are women that are flying jets or planes of some sort. Something like that, yes. Do you know where these women usually were trained? No, they weren't trained in the military. Do you know where they were usually trained?
Where?
In crop dusters. Yeah. Do you know what a crop duster is?
Yes.
Yeah, so the planes that would fly over and drop, you know, the chemicals on the crops, usually their dads or their brothers would know how to do this. And when dad or brother went off to war, or dad or brother left because they got married or something, they needed somebody to do it. So the girl stepped in and did it. Simple as that. So a lot of these women are trained as crop dusters. Y'all, I've seen a crop duster, literally, I'm not joking. I've seen one of those planes fly underneath the power lines on the interstate.
That's awesome.
I know.
Go extreme.
Freaky, because that thing got caught in it, it would have killed all of us. So yes, small planes, very maneuverable. So they were really good at this. One of the things that they did, a lot of times they moved supplies, which is extremely useful. They moved supplies. They also would carry wounded back from the front. That means that they would land in a place that's under fire. They would have people aboard that were injured, too injured to be taken care of at the front. Then they would fly back out under fire. There are several of these women that were awarded stars because they were killed in battle. They did not fight, but they flew into spots that were. I mean, if you think about that, they had no guns on their planes, but they're flying at places where people are shooting at them. That's some brave people right there. Yeah, something, yeah. So I just want you to think about that when you think about these ladies. That's what you're getting. So make sure that you give them the honor that they're due. All right, what else is on there?
Women's Baseball League.
The Women's Baseball League. Y'all seen that movie?
No.
A League of Their Own with Tom Hanks and Madonna.
Tom Hanks was a drunk.
Madonna.
He was until the very end.
Madonna kissed Drake.
Yeah, Madonna's in there.
She's
She
like
does some weird stuff.
50.
What's the other one? What's the other lady? Rosie O'Donnell?
Rosie.
Was she in there?
No.
I think she was.
Internet.
Anyway,
What's the movie called?
A League of Their Own. Didn't have Frost looked it up earlier, so it was from 1992.
It is.
Yep, nice.
Why?
So it was Rosie O'Donnell in it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh,
I thought so. Okay, so what is this women's baseball league? What is it? Okay, why are women playing baseball?
because this is like the period where like when like women step up and they prove themselves that they can do stuff men can't. It's not as well.
They form gangs.
Yeah.
Okay, this yes, you're right. I don't disagree, but she's got the answer that I'm looking for. So say it loud.
Oh, you want
The
this?
major league was shutting down. It was collapsing because all the men were going to the war.
That's right, that's why women played. And I'll tell you this, a majority of these women, they played in like intramural leagues, except they didn't have intramural play. But that's basically what they're playing with. Kind of like, I played rugby in college,
No
in
way.
intramurals.
You're kidding.
No. Good.
Our team did really well. I mean, I'm not the only one on the team.
You played legit rugby.
You played the.
What
Is
did
it
you
U of A?
Were you the kicker?
No.
You actually got in there.
Yeah.
Did you lay people out?
Dang.
No, I just usually stuck under their arms. Because they have these big old tall dudes, and I'm like, underneath you. I don't need to go over you. I'm underneath you.
It's crazy.
Anyway, yeah, well, a bunch of us girls played on this team. It was a mixed gender team. We usually did pretty well. They could grab you right around the waist, but they couldn't grab you lower, and they couldn't grab you higher. Yeah, they could grab you right around the waist, and they'd always try to bear hug you, and you just go underneath their arms. It's great. But these girls are usually playing on that kind of team. They're playing on a mixed gender team, and it's usually because there just aren't enough boys where they're from to make a baseball team. And it's minor league baseball. Sometimes they play on our girls' fast pitch softball teams, but normally they're playing on teams that their brothers are on. So when the boys went to war, yep, the girls took their spot. It was like everything else that was going on during World War II. There weren't any men to work in the factories, so the women went to work. There weren't any men to make the bombs, so the girls did it. There weren't people to make the rivets in the planes, so the girls did it. It just meant that it was, they did a lot of that equal work for equal pay. They did a lot of that song, I can do anything you can do, and I can do it better. That, yeah.
I don't know, but
I can do anything better than you.
So it was one of those things. It was one of those things that during the 1940s, you're going to see that the women truly come to work, and we don't go home again. This is our time to come out. We go to work and we don't go home again.
So hard to go home.
That's why Hattie Caraway gets put with this group. She's the first one. She's the first one standing up and saying, "We're going to have an opinion. We're going to use our opinion, and our opinion is valid. We're just as smart as a boy." That kind of thing. So that's where you got that women's baseball league. That's what's happening. By the way, if you watch the movie, I know you probably won't, but if you watch the movie, at the very end of the movie, the women that were actually in the baseball league are showed at the end of the movie. The true women, the real people. And you can see all of them walk in and everything, and if you ever go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, they're in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You can go and see them. They're all
The
there.
baseball hall of fame.
Like that dance team.
Huh?
The like peaches.
Yeah, all the women, there's pictures from that whole time period of the women that played. Okay, so next, what's after that? Fireside chats. Hey, what is a fireside chat? What does that mean? What is it?
Chat by the fireside.
Okay, I agree. It's a chat by a fireplace. Who's doing it? Roosevelt, I heard that. Roosevelt. Who's Roosevelt? He's the president. Okay, here's what's really interesting. So if you go forward in time, you have George Bush, right? George Herbert Bush, which is Daddy Bush, right? Then you have Clinton, then you have the other George Bush, which is Baby Bush, right? So now if you keep on going, Jeb Bush, which is Brother Bush, is trying to run for president. So you have Daddy Bush, Baby Bush, and Bubba Bush, right? Sorry. That's the only way to keep up with who they are. But Daddy Bush actually did fireside chats. I remember them. He did them on the first Gulf War. He did fireside chats. He would literally sit down in a big chair and you'd watch all these images. Oh, y'all, you could see the war happen on CNN. Because they would like show where the bombs were hitting. They would actually show the targets and things blowing up.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of it. It was kind of bloody and gory and icky. No, it was really not cool. It was kind of depressing. And then you'd have Bush come on in his very calm voice and tell us how the war effort was going. A lot of the fireside chats were motivational. Does that make sense? They were to motivate. Whether it be because of the Depression, whether it be because of the war, they were trying to motivate the people. That's what it was for. Motivation. It was a speaking to the American people, and this is what's happening. This is what's going on. Just telling us that. All right, what else?
That's all.
By the way, I want you at some point, if we got time to end it last week, I want you to go see a video of Roosevelt and Fireside Chat. Not just him speaking, not just that, not right this second. I want you to see it though, because it's interesting to see. Okay, do you have anything else on there? Okay, then I'm going to do your prep for World War II, right? Because that's coming up. Okay, so your prep for World War II, you need to pay attention to this because Smithy is not going to hit this stuff. He's not going to cover it again. I'm covering it the only time you're going to hear it. It's important. It affects not only the history that we're talking now, but when you go back to American history, it'll affect that too. So you need to know this. We're going to talk about it when we do in economics. We'll probably talk about it in civics. You need to pay attention to it. It's important. But it's one of those things that you cover once. Okay. Can you tell me why World War II started? Invasion of Poland, all right? I'll say some Lorraine before that, but I agree, invasion of Poland. Go ahead.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. For us, it was Pearl Harbor. I agree with that too. What else? What else? Hitler, okay. What else? Go. The Nazis, okay, what? Okay, all of that, you know, we really didn't believe that was happening until quite late in the war. What if I told you that World War II started around the time World War I ended? Almost 20 years before World War II officially started.
I'll believe.
No, there's causes. When you talk about causes, I said, what started World War I? Well, you guys gave me the immediate. In history, we don't think immediate. We don't think right now. That's not us in history. History doesn't look at that. History wants you to look at that whole wall back there and go, what was the 40s about? It's about change. It's about people taking their places. It's about coming of an age. That's what the 40s was about. So when you're looking at World War II, you're looking at this going, what caused it? Well, you gotta look. That's why I tell you in History Day, you gotta look at least 20 years before and 20 years after. Causes. What made it happen? This is the stuff I love in history. This is my favorite stuff. It's the good stuff. You gotta look at it and go, I'm smart, I can pick it out. I'm serious, that's what history is good for. So when I tell you this, I'm gonna tell you that it started at the end of the war. And it started with this country. Now, I agree, there were other countries that were on the opposite side of us, right? Because on this side, you've got basically Russia and England and France. And later, the U.S. I put space in between us. They're later, we're later. All right, so granted, it starts with Germany though. Do you know what we did to them at the end of the war?
Took away their troops.
We did. No army. If I write it on the board, you probably ought to type it. Just a thought. Whenever teachers write stuff on the board, it's a really good idea to make sure it shows up in your notes because what we write up on the board is really stinking important if I have taken the time to rewrite it for class period. All right, what else did we do to them? What else did we do to them?
Took away their weapons and stuff.
Yeah, no army, no weapons, none of that, no military. I could just put military. None of that stuff. This is the important one.
Pay to pay.
Oh, the destruction and stuff.
Winners pay for the whole world, all of it. Everything that every country spent, they fought against them, we want to pay for all of it. We don't want to go to debt because you decided you were going to be bad. You need to pay for all of it, Germany. We're going to punish you. We'll show you. You pay for it all.
Kill them all.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like that. We're going to get you back for all the bad that happened to us. The last one down here, though it's here, it's not as important. They lost land to both other countries, and they lost land that they had held. Obviously, if they took the land during the war, they had to give it back. Okay, so remember Mr. Smithy talked about global depression? And he touched it, and then he kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
That's because he's leaving it for me. Global depression, I'm going to give you a smaller thing, because I think sometimes those big, huge ideas, you're like, and you drool at me and stare. I'm going to give you a smaller example. One that's a little more down to us. Okay, I don't know how much you know about teachers, but June 1st, I'm going to get one paycheck. That paycheck will have to last me all the way until September 15th. I won't get paid again. That's why when you guys come in at the beginning of the school year and you're like, hey, you want to support me in the fundraiser? If it's before September 15th, most of us tell you no. That's why. Make it? Because, you know, June 1st we get paid. We don't get paid again until September 15th, the month after school starts.
Pretty big paychecks.
It is, but can you do that for 4 months? It's a long time to keep track of your
You should
pay.
be an underground rapper.
No. But when you think about it this way, I'm really a bad manager of my money. Like if I know, oh, I got money, I can spend it. I feel that way too, by the way. I really want to go spend things. Buy things. Yeah, I have to pay bills first, but you know, I want to. So if I'm a really bad manager of money, and I spend all of my money, and July 1st rolls around, and I spend all of my money in a month, I don't have any more money, right? No money. So I have no money. I have no money at all. So can I pay back the people that I owe?
No.
So I can't pay them back. So I can't pay my bills. Ooh, that's bad. They're going to turn off the electricity. I like electricity. It's nice. Yep, I like water too. Toilets flush that way. So I really want to have my utilities stay on. So if I'm going to pay my utilities, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do? I need money. I can borrow money. I could sell something if I had it. I don't have anything I need to sell. Nobody wants my stuff. I could borrow money. Who am I probably going to borrow money from?
What are the company?
One of my friends, maybe? Maybe. What else? Who else could I borrow from? The bank. I could also put it on a little thing that looks about like that size and square.
Credit card?
A credit card. So we'll use a credit card because they're evil anyway. So they are. They're evil. Never get one. They're evil. All right. So we're going to use the credit card. I'm going to take and borrow money and I'll spend more money and I'll put it on the credit card. So I, run up all my bills on the credit card. I paid off all my things. I keep electricity and water running, good stuff. But I put it all on the credit card. So now I own the credit card company. What happens if I can't pay the credit card off? They come after me, one. But what happens if a bunch of us can't pay off the credit card? What happens to the credit card company if all of us can't pay off our credit card?
It goes bankrupt.
It goes down. It goes bankrupt. That's what you're looking at.
No.
Yes, taking down credit card companies is so good. This is what you're looking at though. So Germany is told to pay the whole amount, right? You gotta pay. They don't have any money. this. They don't have a penny for their name. Y'all, after World War I, there are towns you couldn't get electricity in most places because they were too destroyed. Roads were impassable. And y'all, some of it stayed that way. They didn't have the money even to pick it up and clean it up. Farmland, destroyed. They couldn't even grow their own crops. People were starving. It was not a good time to be a German. It was terrible. But here's what happened. All of those countries are looking at Germany, going, pay up. Pay times due. You owe us money, you pay it. They threatened them. Well, the problem was that Germany's not alone. They got no money. They can't pay them back. Do you know why these countries wanted their money so bad?
Because they don't have.
They were broke too.
They borrowed money. Who did they borrow money from?
Charlie.
All into one spot.
Are you,
They borrowed money from us. So here's what happened. I want you to look at this really hard because remember, we went into depression. But Mr. Smithy told you the rest of the world had already been there, right? Here's why. Because Germany was supposed to pay back everybody. They didn't have the money to do it. You can't get money from nothing. And they had nothing. So no money here means there's no money here, here, or here. Guess what? That means no money here. That means the U.S. doesn't have it either. So just like Citibank, there goes the U.S. Straight on down the toilet. That's what the global depression was. It wasn't our stock market, although that had much to do with that because the stock market is global. It's not just us, it's everyone around the world. Does that make sense? Do you see what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, tell me if you don't, and I'll explain it again. I want you to get this. This is important.
Well, where did all the money go?
You know, it's the same way. You know, it's the same way with me. I always wonder that. I paid my bills and like, where did all that go? A lot of it got filtered. It did come to the U.S. And for a while, I mean, Germany actually made one payment and it paid all of them once. They couldn't make the other like 15 payments or something like that. And that money filtered into us. They paid back their loans. And these three countries kept paying on their loans, even though it was costing them severely at home. They didn't want to default on your loans. You don't want to default on a loan to another country. It's bad, really bad, because they won't loan to you anymore. So they kept trying to pay us, and that's why we stayed afloat for another 10 years. We were up for 10 years. But then we were doing this back. We took ours that we had there, and we started putting a whole bunch of stuff out there that we didn't have money for. We spent more than we had. And we put ourselves into credit debt.
But where did that money go?
It filtered back out into the system, but it filtered back out into not just these countries, but countries all over the world. A lot of it went into our colonies, it went into militarization, it went into a bunch of things that are going on. A lot of it came actually back to our pockets, you and I. But there just wasn't enough for what we were spending. Does that make sense? The government was spending so much more than it had, and it was expecting all this money to keep rolling in, and when it wasn't there, it's kind of like getting fired from your job, and you got one payment on the house, and you know the next payment's going to come for your paycheck, but no paycheck comes because you get fired, you lose your house. So that's kind of where we were. We lost our house, and we sunk with the rest of them. Now, here's what I want you to get for sure. That's what causes the war. That's the major cause. That global depression. That's why we put that in there. We wanted you to go, global depression, okay. It's not just us, it's everybody else too. But with that comes depression. And Smithy said that. Remember what he said? When you've got no money, you feel depressed, right? No money, I don't like not having any money, I can't spend money, I can't go out to eat, can't buy a pretty new thing. I get to stare at the walls, no extra cable. It's bad. Smithy with his cable, it's funny to me. It's like, he says that's the most expensive bill he has, cable. But so there's none of those extra things. So you feel depressed. The people of Germany, they can't get any lower. They can't get any lower. Brandon. They can't get any worse off than they are. They are. Have you ever felt really, really sad?
No.
I mean, you've never?
No.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I truly am. If you ever felt that sad that you're like, things are truly bad, and you don't see, like, you looking at it, and I mean, maybe you got in trouble for doing something, or maybe you just had a really, really crappy day, and you felt so sad that you're looking at it and you're like, I don't understand why I keep doing this. Why do I keep going to school? Why do I keep working? Why do I keep doing that? Okay, so if you've ever felt that way, Germany was a million times worse than that.
Was there like a mass suicide rate in Germany?
Actually, suicide rates were very high in Germany. But not only that, starvation rates were very, very high. Because there wasn't any food. Okay, so I'm going to feel like I'm switching topics, but I'm not. Hitler, where was he during World War I? No?
Austria.
Military.
He was in the military. He served in the military. He was no one special. Nothing important about him. He got saved by a British soldier. That's about it. He didn't do anything great. He didn't get any awards. He didn't save anybody. He was just an average soldier. He didn't do anything worthy of mention. Other than he was in the war. What happened to him afterwards? What happened to him afterwards? Yeah, he didn't do very well after the war. Where did he go? You don't know? He did go home. But what happened to him when he went home?
He went home to a depression.
Okay, I want you to go find out why Hitler was in jail. Go find out why Hitler was in jail. Since you don't know, go find out why Hitler was in jail.
Because
No, why did he get sent to jail?
He assaulted someone.
He assaulted someone, yes.
At a public meeting.
Yes, he was at a public meeting. He was protesting. There's also that part too. He was protesting the government. He was protesting the treatment of people. He wanted better prices. He wanted Germany to stand up for itself. So he went to jail. You know how long he was supposed to spend in jail?
6 months.
Okay. He was supposed to spend 5 years in jail. He didn't spend that long in jail.
He spent some months.
He spent some months, yeah, a few months in there, 6, 8, something like that. And what did he do while he was in jail? Do you know?
He wrote to a guy.
He wrote a book. A whole book.
About what he
Probably
was gonna do.
Exactly. He wrote a book about what he was going to do. Do you know what it's called?
Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf. Yeah, Mein Kampf. It's my struggles or my thoughts. One of the two. That's an important one. You want to write that down for him because that's important. You need to know what that book was called. You need to know what he did. You need to know where it was, Mein Kampf. And you need to know that he wrote it and it tells what he's planning to do. Y'all, it is truly a list of here's step by step what I'm going to do to take over the world. I'm not joking. Here's how I'm going to make Germany great again. Here's what I'm going to do. Y'all, he's going to come in and Germany is going to be so low, so bad off, that he's offering them the only hope. He is their hope. Genius. That's what it is. If you're so low down, if you feel so bad about yourself, if you have such bad feelings, and somebody offers you hope, they offer you a way out, you'll take it. You need something. And he was that. Good or bad, he was that. And his words didn't sound bad. We're going to make Germany strong again. We're going to give you a place in society where you can feel good about yourself. Doesn't sound bad, does it?
No.
It's just the actions that were bad, right?
Gotcha.